Hi and welcome to this week's GMBN Tech Show. Coming up on the show this week, actually, we're going to start with a big topic about how to get involved in the bike industry. It seems to be a question that comes up a lot, so we're going to be answering some questions for you on that. We've got all our regulars, including some great stuff coming up in news. So into this week's topic, and I put a post out a while back asking for some questions to come in on actually asking me about my job and stuff because we were making a presenter video, but so many of the questions actually gave us an idea for a topic about getting to work in the bike industry. So I'm just going to go through some of those questions and we'll have a bit of a discussion about stuff. So the first one comes up from Joe Car 88. How did you get into the industry in the first place? I'd love to work in the mountain bike industry. Well, through school, I was utterly addicted to bikes. I'm pretty much, imagine a miniature and more annoying version of me than I am now. At the time, it was very limited because there was magazines, there wasn't such things as websites or anything like that. So it's a fairly simple route to decide what you wanted to be. You wanted to be a racer, work in a bike shop as a mechanic or something like that, or try and work into the media. So it seemed pretty simplified the way you were going to do things. I did work experience at my local bike shop. It's called The Bike Shop. It's in North Harrow in Middlesex. And they taught me so much, and I ended up working there part-time for a long time. I forget how many years, but I worked there for a long time. They became really good friends of mine, and actually I learned so much from them that I still refer to now in videos. So actually, working in bike shops is some of the best experience you can get. It'll also help you understand the industry as well, because you get to see the different sides. You get the sales reps come in, you get to understand the warranty, the mechanical side of things, you get to understand the sales point of view, you get to interact with customers and go riding with them, you know, after work rides and clubs and stuff. So actually, if you're unsure about what you want to do, but you're interested in the bike industry, go and work for a bike shop. They're some of the coolest places to work. And do you know what the best thing about them is? You work with bikes and you're working with people that love bikes. Can't get much better than that, surely. Next question is from Merlin_on Mars. Did you do uni or anything, journalism, or did you get in some other way? Yeah, I did 3 years of journalism at college, but it was more of a basis to try and understand what I was better at. So my English was always good at school. I was always into photography and music and other stuff, and ended up going down the journalism route because I was really good at writing, and the magazine avenue is what I wanted to pursue. How I got there though, I didn't go through the traditional route, which would have been going to university and going after that. I actually just tried to chase work experience. So you've got to bear in mind, university is amazing. You're going to learn stuff at uni you just can't learn otherwise, and it's a really good route. However, it's not always successful in getting you where you want to go. So the best bit of advice for anyone working in the bike industry or outside of that is to get some real world experience. You can't beat work experience. Now, in the past, I think, you know, certainly in the years when I was doing work experience, it was quite common for people to just abuse it and treat it as like a week off. But if you really want something, you need to go and get it. You need to get on the phone, you need to email people, you need to hassle them to get where you want to go. And if you're really keen and you work hard and you can get something out of it, then yes, you can work that way. You've got to use these things to your advantage, and you've always got to assume that you're not the best at doing it. Even if you think you're the best, you've got to pretend, or you've got to imagine that the person next to you is better than you, they want it more than you, and they want to do it for less money. So you've really got to absolutely nail yourself to get yourself out there. Yeah, super important stuff. Real world experience is ultra important, and actually from an employer perspective, someone that's got real world is almost more important than someone that's got better qualifications, because they've been there, they've done it. So just think about that. If you can combine that with uni experience as well, then it's a win-win. Adam H, when did you realise you can make this into your career? Do you know what? I don't think I ever really realised that until I was actually doing it as part of my career, because I didn't associate the relevance of, hey, this can be my career. I was just like, there's nothing else I want to do more than work as a journalist on Mountain Biking UK magazine and then see where that can take me. You know, when I was doing it, suddenly I was thinking, hold on, I'm working at the #1 mountain biking magazine. I'm getting to talk to all these amazing riders and industry people and bike designers. And I was just, just harvesting all of that knowledge, trying to sort of pull it in. Yeah, and of course at that point I started realising, wow, there's a genuine career in this. And now I've worked in it so long, I'm not doing anything else. I love the bike industry. I am in it for life.
Hello there, tech gang. Right, we're talking about how to get into the mountain biking industry or into the sport itself. Well, as a rider, that used to be all about results. If you got really great results, then you could get into the sport, because the brands really needed you. But these days, the influencer age has taken over. So there's a lot more ways into the sport and a lot more ways to prove you're useful to those brands. So I guess it's still results, but not necessarily race results. For instance, if you've got a really strong following in your social platforms, and that could be nationally, internationally, or it might be within a certain community that's important to a brand, then that could be a really useful way of getting involved in the sport in a more professional manner. Because basically that's an audience. You guys out there and me, when I look at other content, we're audience, and that's what people need. So if you can provide great content, then you can build a really strong audience, and then that audience is a really great asset for any brand to have through you. So that's one way to do it, through social media. I'd also say that the results can be looked at in terms of race competitions, but results in terms of the actual content itself. So maybe you're not the best rider in the world, but maybe you're capturing the riding in a way that no one else can. Now, you've only got to ask our creators how much they have to ride their bikes to answer the question, are they in the bike industry? Are they pro bike riders? Sometimes they have to ride as much as everyone else, especially at those EWS rounds.
What's up everyone? Yep, a bit of a change of scene for you this week. My name's Tom and I read the news on the Dirt Shed Show every week, and I've been asked to cover off anything particularly techie that's happened, which is cool because I love going a bit more into the details than I usually get time to on the Dirt Shed Show. So I'll start you off with some solid facts and then we'll look into a few juicy rumours after that. First off is the release of the new Propane Rage CF. Now, this hasn't exactly been a secret. Last year, or maybe even before that, we started to see Propane's range of bikes moving the rear shock from behind the front triangle, mounted vertically behind the seat tube, to the inside. With the tyre changing and then the spin drift, it was only a matter of time until the Rage, the downhill bike, followed suit, and here it is. Now, chances are you've actually seen this before, maybe for a while too, and that's because it's being ridden by the Propane Factory racing team for over a year. The rear wheel travel has been bumped up to a massive 215mm, and the new Rage can take either two 29-inch wheels or a mix. The chainstay is also shortened from 460mm to 445mm with a flip chip. There's a few cool Propane touches too, namely you can change which style head tube badge you want, which colour decals you want, and of course the ability to tailor that build to whatever your budget requires. Of course, it's gotten longer, lower and slacker over the years, with the latest iteration being a 63-degree head angle and a 495 reach on the XL. It's full carbon with what Propane are calling blend, which is similar to many other brands' higher-end carbon fibers, allowing the weave in different parts of the frame to have different properties, making it stiff and robust where it needs to be and light everywhere else, resulting in a claimed weight for the full bike in the high-end build and a size large of just 16.9 kilos, which is no slouch for a downhill bike. It's got a handful of other cool touches, such as the Dirt Shield bearing covers and internal cable routing, which goes above a threaded BB. It's got a 38% progression rate, which is good news for a downhill bike, but interestingly, Propane claim it's also got 100% anti-squat, meaning the bike will accelerate without bobbing. So there you have it. The new Rage CF is available now on the Propane website. You can head over there and mix around the cool colors and change the builds on the customizer, which is always fun. Right, deep dive into the rumor mill now with some teasers of a few new bikes. First off, one from the legendary steel hardtail and component brand Chromag. Over on their Instagram, they've teased their first ever full suspension mountain bike, which is huge news. However, maybe don't get too excited just yet, unless you're a young shredder that is, because there are a few factors here that point towards this being a kid's bike. Hold up, another scene change for you. We were filming that yesterday in the Dirt Shed Show, and Chromag went and released the bike after we were done. So just taking a little stroll through the lanes behind my house to bring you all the details about it today. So Chromag have released the Minor Threat, which is a very important bike for them for two reasons. First off, I believe it's their first bike to be made out of aluminium. Now, Chromag are the OG steel guys. Yeah, some of their top end bikes get built out of titanium, but I'm pretty sure this is their first ever bike made fully out of aluminium. Reason two, this is their first ever full suspension mountain bike. So for them to make their first ever full sus, kind of shows you times are changing. They're expanding their lineup, which is cool to see. So the Minor Threat, this is a real progressive 140mm travel kids bike basically made for kids who are sending it in the sort of Whistler area. It's got a 64-degree head angle and a 76-degree seat angle, which can be adjusted 1 degree by a flip chip. Okay, onto the sizing. It's available in 2 sizes. The S1, which is a 24-inch wheel, has a 140mm revelation up the front and 360mm reach. The S2 is a 26-inch wheel, 150mm pike up the front, so a little burlier for the bigger kids, and a 400mm reach. I think it's sick that Chromag have decided to make this out of aluminium. It's really important for kids' bikes to get the right strength to weight ratio. You imagine yourself scaled down and then trying to lift your same 30-pound bike that all of a sudden is like half your body weight. It's virtually impossible. So in order for kids to get the right progression and have the right experience riding bikes, having a lighter frame is key. And to skip ahead to the end briefly, they've also mentioned that this bike that they've created for kids scales up as well. So I think we're going to see a full suspension adult bike coming from them sometime soon too. Whether that will be steel or aluminium, time will tell, and we'll keep our eyes open for more. And before I sign off, I'll leave you with this image from Privateer Bikes. The 161 and 141 have been very popular since the brand's launch a few years ago, especially here in the UK. Last year, Matt Simmons started riding Privateer bikes after his Cannondale contract ended. If you had a brilliant downhill rider like Matt Simmons riding for you and you didn't have a DH bike in the roster, I think you'd probably get him to design one. Now, the 161 frame is probably strong enough to run a dual crown fork, similar to say the Norco Range or the Yeti SB165. But as far as I'm aware, it isn't officially rated for dual crown use. And when you look at those hashtags, I think it's fairly safe to say that we've got a downhill bike on the way. Again, more on that soon. Right, that's it from me. Thanks for having me, and I'll hand you back to Doddy now for the rest of the show. Enjoy.
Okay, and a bit of a weird random rewind special this week. I've had this book turn up completely unannounced in the post from Cannondale, and it's called the Cannondale Archives, 1971 to 2021. So it seems Cannondale are 50 years old. Now, I don't know how much you know about Cannondale, but in my eyes, they're one of the most interesting bike brands. They've done a lot of weird R&D bikes over the years. Can't forget the bike that looks like a roller skate, bizarre looking thing. They obviously had their kids' trailers as well. They've just done so much stuff. But probably one of the coolest things is Cannondale actually started, 2 things about Cannondale actually. One of them is they started by making outdoor bags, like hiking bags and touring bags to go on touring bikes. So they weren't even making bikes to start with. And the name Cannondale, it doesn't stand for anyone or anything in particular. It was a name that was painted on the outside of the train station that they were renting to use as an office. And they had to go register, I guess for like VAT registration or something similar in America. They had to register the name of the company, basically. And at the time of registering, they were like, Cannondale, that'll do. And they used the name, and actually, it just looks right, doesn't it? It looks quite cool. Quite an iconic brand. Now this book is literally, I've only just flicked through it just before filming. Some of the artwork in here is unreal, and I've kind of forgotten just how much Cannondale have done over the years. They've got the Lefty, they've got the Head Shock, they've got the Fatty Forks, the Pepperoni Blades. Hey, they were one of the first brands in the world to do a mullet style bike. So one of their first mountain bikes had a 24-inch rear wheel and a 26-inch front wheel. Missy Jovi, the aluminium, the Raven, like it's just unreal the amount of development work the Cannondale put in. And who can forget the motocross bike? The thing that nearly ditched the whole company, nearly absolutely sunk them, the amount of money they put into that. But still, it's just like, it's just such a fitting thing for Cannondale. I mean, how cool is that? Look how shot, that's Martin Ashton on Cannondale back in the day. You wouldn't believe how much I wanted to be like him when I was reading about him in the magazines. In fact, I tried to copy him, but I couldn't afford the signature model of bike he had. I had a cheaper one. I think I had an F700, something like that. But I couldn't have the Union Jack DCD because that was sponsor part only, but I had the FIDS Union Jack saddle, so I tried to sort of copy him in any way possible. But I wouldn't want him to know that because that's just the sort of thing that Martin loves. But what an iconic brand in cycling, full stop. And just look at this. Now, I don't think you can actually get hold of these books. I think I fluked this because I have a feeling these were actually designed, they're actually put out for Cannondale employees. So if you work for Cannondale, you'll probably have seen this. But I'm sure you might be able to find some somewhere. I'm sure some are going to escape. But what an awesome bit of kit that is as far as books go. I love a good bike industry book. A bit more on Cannondale next week, I think. Okay, now let's jump into Bike Cave. You know the drill, it's about somewhere like this, somewhere where you keep your bikes, you celebrate your bike. You talk about bikes, maybe you just have a beer and just look at your bike. Wherever it is, send your Bike Cave options in to us. There's a better link actually in the description underneath, you can click on that one. Okay, so first one is from Seamus in Santa Barbara, who's just got a nice little compact area, which looks like in his lounge. So you've got a map up on the wall, you've got 2 bikes hung up vertically, nice and neat, out of the way. Just proves you don't need a massive amount of space to have your bikes. So Seamus has got local single track and downhill park on the Strive. That's a nice canyon Strive there. Coastal rides and cardio training on the Omnium. I'll tell you what, I'm very envious of where you live. There's some great off-road riding there, and what a beautiful coastal town to live near. Santa Barbara is absolutely awesome. Yeah, super nice. Okay, who's next? So Andres in Colombia, South America. Now this looks familiar. Have you sent your bike in before to Rewind? So I'm pretty sure I've seen that Schwinn, so it's one of the sweet spot John Castellano style unified designs, and it's got those Mavic Citroen wheels on there. Oh dude, so what a bike, THE Mudguard too. But we're looking at your workshop here. I'm just looking at everything else you've got going on. Trying to copy all the nice things I see on your channel. Dude, I think your bike is a bit nicer than our one. But oh, look at the artwork. Wow, that's cool. Who's this by? Squid Prints. Copyright 1980. Wow. Who's the artist? Overwatered. Very cool. Oh, I love the bunny hop one. That's awesome. That's well good. The motocross one, powder puff. Nice. Long travel. I know a few people's bikes who look like that with a bottom bracket that high off the deck. Hey, these are great. Awesome stuff. And there you go. There's a better shot of the workshop there. Yeah, okay, fair enough. It is looking really good. You've got a lot of cool stuff in there. Bench grinder, got a vice. Gotta say, your workbench looks like it could be a bit more sturdy. But hey, you've got like a serious amount of kit going on in there. Wow, loads of bikes as well. Yeah, dude, you've got loads of good stuff in there. Yeah, that's looking like the workshop side of things. Oh, look at that. Nice little Levo there too. Gotta say, I'm becoming more of a fan of e-bikes these days. Don't hang me out over it too much, but they are good fun, aren't they? Great stuff. Great to see your Bike Caves. Please keep them coming in. Okay, now it's time for top mods. This is all about the modifications you make to your bike. If you've done any mods to your mountain bike, get them into the link right there on the screen. And this first one is amazing because it's a titanium bike. Titanium bike. If you've never owned a titanium bike, put it on your bucket list of things that you should own, or at very least you should ride at some point. There's something about the ride of titanium that's just unlike any other metal or alloy or carbon or anything. Totally unique. Beautiful looking as well. So this is Mike in Denmark, custom geometry titanium frame from Titan. Got this frame custom made from Titan bikes and built it up to the spec of my dreams. From designing the frame spec to the finished bike took 6 months. Well, that's a pretty quick process. It was well worth the wait. Back end has sliding dropouts, so I could fit 27.5 and 29-inch wheels on there too. Look at that flat lay. So you got, oh, look at the kit you got there. So you've got a set of Maxxis tyres, Fox 36 forks, Hope brakes on there. Seriously nice bits of kit. Looks like you've got Hope stem as well. USC dropper post, is that in there? Well, at least it looks like you've got USC remotes for that. Seriously nice kit you've got going on there. Oh, there we go. There's a build. So you've got the Dissector rear tyre on there. There are some serious rims. You've got Access on there as well. Dude, you have spent a fortune on this thing. Wowzers. Yeah, look at those anchors up the front. Big 4-pot brakes with the those really unique rotors. So the rotors themselves are actually slightly floating on the Hope brakes, like they don't actually move around, but the way the rivets work, they allow for heat expansion, so there can be some movement and contraction there, so they should dissipate the heat really well. Yeah, dude, looks really nice. Nice gold touches on there, and really nice to see just the raw titanium alloy frame. It's just got a great look to it, isn't it? You can't replicate that colour, it just looks so good. Hey, that's nice and slack as well. I'd like to know your angles on this. So what's that? Your seat angle on there. Kind of hard to tell because it's got a curve in there as well. But that's probably what, 70, 76 degrees, something like that. Front end looks massive on that. It's really long. Hey, let us know in the comments. I want to know your geometry on there. It looks really good. Lovely looking bike, Mike. Thank you for sending that one in. And next one's from Shulk. This one's a 2020 Stumpjumper S-Works Carbon. The Winelands in South Africa. Man, I'm very jealous of where you live. Joe, I've never felt, in fact, Vancouver and South Africa are the two places on earth where I felt like just the most welcome. I felt like actually I could move here. I feel like I almost belong here. I've had nothing but amazing experiences in South Africa. Really, really cool place to live. Thanks for a great show, guys. Dottie of All the Tech, Neil with his race knowledge, Blake always putting a smile on your face, and Martin, what an inspiration. Coming from road bikes, I've never been on a bike for 30 years. Wow. Getting a bike rack for all the kids' bikes on my birthday last year changed all that. Specialized built up my new baby, and I've been hitting the epic local trails daily ever since. Had a custom wrapped against dings, my best investment ever. SRAM oval chainring saved my knees, and recently upgraded to new SRAM Access, and what a difference this made. Specialized command dropper is a dream, keeping the angle of the seat through the drop constant to the bars. Yeah, they're good. They work really nicely, those. Hey, your bike looks really cool, and I love the fact that you've come from the road world, and by getting the kids involved on bikes, it's basically got you back on a bike. So hey, great story, really cool stuff. And hey, if I'm ever in your neck of the woods again, I'll let you know, because always nice to meet fellow mountain bikers. But awesome stuff. Love your bike. But there we go, that's all we've got time for on this week's show. Hopefully you enjoyed everything. Please give us some feedback in those comments, and we'll see you on next week's show. Ta-ra.